Hi, I'm Jennifer Powell, and this is Take a Look, a time where we take a look at the people, organizations, events, and culture that is Lancaster County. And today we have members of the LAAPI organization, including President Cindy, Brian, Communications Chair, and Vanessa, one of their new members. We're gonna have them all introduce themselves because we've got some pretty amazing people on the show today. So I'm gonna start with the president. Cindy, tell us about yourself, who you are, what is your day job, because, and first, what does LAAPI stand for?
Yes, we are a Lancaster Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders organization. I started a restaurant with my husband around 10 years ago. We are the owners of Cilantro Asian Street Kitchen. We do own a little bit of other businesses, but that is my day job, and I'm there. We're there every day.
Yeah. You were cooking earlier, right?
Yes,
you were literally cooking earlier. Rushed over. So, we should have said bring some lunch. Oh gosh.
Oh, I know.
Next time.
That would make it so hot.
Oh, we could have enjoyed.
You know, then we can sit
We'll come
and
back.
talk.
Come
Yeah.
back. So, you're the president of the organization,
Yes.
and how long has the LAAPI organization been in existence?
It's been a little over 2 years, so we are fairly new, but we have grown just tenfold. We've grown tremendously.
Well, I can't wait to hear more about the organization, but first, let's meet Brian.
Hi. So my name is Brian Wynn. I am the communications chair of Lancaster AAPI, and for me, I just love to tell stories, and so I do communications for a living.
Yeah.
So my day job is right now is the school district of Lancaster, but I do a lot of freelance photography and communications work. But yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, fantastic. The storyteller of the group. We always need the stories, and so
Absolutely.
Vanessa.
Hey. So I am Vanessa. I am a member of the LLAPI. I'm a sort of new member. I started last year. I was
Okay.
invited by one of our other members, Ole. So it's been a great experience being a part of the group. I've met so many more new people. And I also am a local realtor with Keller Williams Elite here in Lancaster.
Fantastic. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. So tell us about LAAPI and what's the mission of the organization. Cindy.
So we celebrate, we advocate, and we connect the Lancaster Asian Americans and Pacific Islander community.
Oh, that's so wonderful. So what is your personal heritage? Where are you? What is your identification from?
I am Chinese.
Chinese?
And I grew up in a really nice Chinese community. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh.
My parents made sure that despite growing up in the U.S., we should always remember who we are and where our grandparents and our family came from.
Yes,
So every weekend I would go to Chinese school. I would learn the language. I would learn the culture. And we were raised by just this close-knit community.
Oh, I love it. How about you, Brian? What do you really appreciate and enjoy about being part of this organization? And it's grown tremendously. We were saying earlier that this is like a toddler organization as well. But tell us your experience and how you're enjoying it.
Yeah, so I'm a first-generation Vietnamese American. So my family immigrated here during the Vietnam War, and similar to Cindy's story, my family has always been about enriching ourselves with our culture and traditions, not losing that. So at home we would always speak Vietnamese or French or some other language other than English, so we can learn that language. And part of the reason why we started Lancaster AAPI, it started off as a small group of individuals of various Asians, essentially, and we just got together, had a small potluck, and just wanted to build that sense of community. Because whenever there's a space where there's people that look like us, and there's so much power when we're seen and heard and valued that it really brings out a lot of collaboration and community. And so that's really the core purpose of who we are and what we do.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. I want to hear from Vanessa. Vanessa, I know personally your story is a little different. I'm very interested in it. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you kind of got connected. I know Lei invited you. But
Absolutely. So for me, I was born in Korea, in Seoul, South Korea, and I was adopted as a baby. So I've grown up here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And for me, I've had a great upbringing, I have a very close and open family who embraces different diversity and cultures. So growing up, I had that, but I didn't have that sort of sense sometimes in different stages of understanding of belonging because I didn't really see as many people that looked like me or had sort of those traditions that I've heard from some of my friends growing up. So it's really been able to open me to see some of that Asian connection that I have in my roots and my heritage.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you all for sharing your story and especially so building a community and coming together really sounds like what the genesis of this organization is. Tell us about some of the activities and education and what does the group do?
Yeah, we have various events throughout the year. We've partnered with the Ware Center. We've partnered with Lancaster History. And one of the largest events that we have is the Lunar New Year event.
Oh.
That's every winter.
Yes.
So 2 years ago we had our first one, and then this year we had our second one.
Well, I just have to interrupt you quickly because the first one, I recall I wasn't able to be there. However, I think that there were literally hundreds of people, and you anticipated maybe a dozen, a lot smaller.
Yes.
And there was just so much interest in the culture and understanding and learning and coming together. So you had your second one last year. Big as well.
Yes. So traditionally, Lunar New Year, when you celebrate with family, it's like when we invite people to our homes, it's welcoming you guys into our family. So to have an event where hundreds of people are showing up, we're kind of embracing everyone into our family, sharing our culture, sharing the food, the music, the dancing, all the entertainment, the performances. And then to see all the support that we got also in Lancaster, it's beautiful to watch. So that really, that's like our big
Sort of signature event.
public facing event, and it was the first Lunar New Year event that's public facing in Lancaster.
Right, in Lancaster. Will you be having one coming up this year?
Yes, we will.
Do you have the date for that?
So it will be Sunday, February in 2025, and it's the year of the snake.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. So you'll be able to find out all the contact information for the organization, but so keep an eye out for that Lunar New Year. So what other events do you do aside from the Lunar New Year, which is the big signature? What else is in the works here?
So the first event that I got invited to was their summer potluck.
Oh. And
I will say I was a little nerve-wracked because it felt a little bit like high school because I literally had not met anybody yet. And it was the most welcoming experience, coming in. Everybody was so sweet. All those nerves went away, which is great. And, we were able to, enjoy everybody's culture as far as they brought different dishes from their background, got to meet additional people that have become friends, which has been awesome. So that was the first event I've gone to, but throughout the year they do other events. They have also done something...
the Autumn Fest, I think, that you also...
Yes,
so it sounds like you really seem to do things not quarterly or seasonally, or you seem to kind of continue to keep elevating the work that you do. Do you all provide any educational work in the community?
Yes. So, do you want to answer that?
So we do a lot of community outreach. So, despite us being Asian, there's different regions of Asia that we're all a part of, but the beautiful thing that unites us is despite all of our differences, there's a lot of similarities. Right. So just taking a step back and speaking to these beautiful women's points, is that food has always been a whenever we break bread, it allows us to have those intentional conversations and create those safe spaces for us to just show up authentically as we are. So when we are out into the community and doing community outreach, we do a lot of advocacy for various Asian groups, and we try to stay on top of what's going on, not only in our local community, but what's happening nationally and internationally as well. Using our platforms, most particularly our social media platforms, it allows us to have those engaging conversations and really involving higher education groups. So like Lancaster, Franklin and Marshall, Millersville University, city, they have specific Asian groups that we connect with
Oh.
and provide resources, information, and they invite us to their events as well. Other organizations invite us to their events for us to be able to have that presence, because when we're seen,
Yes.
people know that they have a safe space with us.
I just love it because, breaking bread, coming together around a meal, that is a cultural tradition that many cultures share.
Absolutely, yes.
And, bringing in people into your family and feeling accepted and welcomed. And, that's what Lancaster is about. And Lancaster being a welcoming community and a community that brings people together. And you all are just enhancing that by the work that you're doing and the outreach that you're doing in the community. And it's just amazing. So the Autumn Fest, tell what is that, just more of a potluck, or is it an entertainment type? So just would love to hear a little bit more about how that.
Yes. So Mid-Autumn Festival is a potluck.
Yeah.
So when the seasons change, when it's autumn, it's also a symbolism of harmony and wholeness and togetherness.
Yes.
So we get together and we eat with family, which this is
Your
family.
extended
Everyone's
family now.
extended family.
Yes.
The Chinese Mid-Autumn Festival actually it ended recently,
Oh.
but for us to extend it, we want to do it in October.
Gotcha.
So it's a good time for everyone to come out. It's just the start of the fall. So it's going to be really exciting. People are going to bring dishes, and we're all just going to share. You're invited.
Oh, well, thank you. I can be someone's date,
Yes,
maybe.
and
Yes. Okay.
And there's a beautiful movie on Netflix called Over the Moon where it
Oh.
talks about Mid-Autumn Festival. It's a really cute kids movie, so we'll play
Thank
that.
you. Oh.
And then we eat moon cakes. They're traditional cakes, like a pastry, and there's different, you can make it with different types of paste inside, and there's a salty egg yolk that symbolizes the moon, the wholeness and the harmony of coming together. So we'll be having that at the potluck as well.
That's again, it's just so wonderful because the culture and Lancaster County is so diverse, and there's so much
I
going
agree.
on, and there are even events outside of what you are doing. So you're partnering with colleges and universities, and you're really trying to spread that word and bringing people
Yes.
in and bringing people together,
Yes.
and that is what was so inspiring about this group. And you literally started with a couple of people. So, a group of 3 kind of thing. And it's amazing. So what's the future? What do you all see for LAAPI in the future?
Well, quite recently,
can all say
Lancaster AAPI really expanded into giving back to our community as much as we can. So expanding a scholarship program for high school seniors who identify as AAPI
Yes.
in some capacity.
Yes.
To really helping them further their education.
Oh, that's wonderful. Is that so through the Lancaster County Community Foundation?
Yeah, through our
Yes.
giving circle.
And
Yeah.
you do the giving circle there. Tell us
Yes,
about,
yes,
so
yes.
is it purely scholarship, or is there any other sort of giving focus areas?
So through Lancaster API with the Lancaster Community Foundation, that one's purely scholarships because we got a grant
Yes,
to do
yeah.
that, and we thought, what better way instead of holding on to this or
Right.
doing something within our community, we want to kind of spread it.
Yes.
And a lot of us found growing up in Lancaster, we were missing that kind of support, and there isn't a lot of support for just identifying as being Asian, and then
Right.
you want to go to college. What
Right,
support is there? So, and a part of us, we started this, it was to provide support for, we want more youth outreach. We want all these students growing up in Lancaster to feel like there's a sense of belonging because we're here for them.
Yes. Oh, Cindy, that's so beautiful. The next generation of leaders are future. And so, having that spirit of community and philanthropy
Yes.
and giving and just recognizing the importance of culture and
Yes.
history in our lives. So, so you're the newest member.
Yes.
And you're the communications chair and founding member. And you're a founding member as well.
Yes.
How many founding members were there?
Oh gosh, I feel like that first meal, it was Southern Market.
Yep.
There was a good group of us.
There was a good group
maybe
of us.
8 to 10.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to all the other
Yes, yeah, for sure.
officers.
Yeah.
Our VP, we have 2 amazing people, Julia Cow and Donna Pham. She's the owner of Issei Noodle.
Oh, wow.
So huge fan of that.
Yes, of course.
Libby Etheridge is our events chair, and she is the one who's really behind the vision of things like partnering with the Ware Center. In May, when AAPI Heritage Month happens, we have a lot of events going on. So she's incredible. She spearheads a lot of events for us.
An amazing artist.
And she's an amazing artist.
wow.
She's the owner of Wild Rice Art Company. And then we have this incredible advocacy chair, Adam Hosey, and he spearheaded the scholarship program. So thank you to him for being able to put all that together and working with the schools.
It takes a village. It takes a group. It takes a community, and bringing everyone together.
Yes.
Well,
one more. Sorry.
yes, please.
And Olay. Olay is
yes.
the owner of Photo Olay
Yes.
and Metzger Ice Cream, and
Yes.
he's our business development chair.
Yes.
And then we have a lot of social
Just
media
members
people.
and
We
social-
do. We
yeah.
have, like, yeah.
And it's an inclusive group.
Yes.
So we're talking here about Lancaster
very much.
AAPI. But that doesn't mean that if you don't have Asian heritage that you can't come to an event
Yes.
or be
Correct.
welcomed in.
Correct.
This is an inclusive organization that's bringing together our community, educating and advocating for Asian American Pacific Islanders, our next generation of leaders, the youth of today, the leaders of tomorrow. But it has been a pleasure to have you all on. And before we wrap up, I definitely want to hear a little bit more about the Giving Circle and the advocacy work that you do, and sort of how you do that outreach within the community.
Yes. So about a year ago, it was nearing the extra give
Yeah, the extra-
time. We met with Lancaster Community Foundation, and they talked to us about the Giving Circle. And Julia Cow, our VP, and I met with them, and they talked about this really cool concept. And the Giving Circle is found in different parts of the country, and people put in their funds, and then with that fund, you do something to benefit the community.
Yes, yes.
So that's our vision, is to use those funds to help grow our presence, to help elevate our voices, to give everyone a sense of belonging. So whether it's through events or other educational collaborations, that's what we plan to do with those funds.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's a really great opportunity that the Lancaster County Community Foundation has put out there for groups and organizations. But to be providing this to students and bringing them into community, like you said, your parents seem to be very intentional about your culture and your heritage. I love the diverse stories here of upbringing and the purposeful intentionality of preserving the tradition and the heritage and the culture, and bringing it to newer members or members that may not be of Asian descent but want to be involved and connected in the community and learn and grow, because that's what Lancaster's really about. And so to have this group really elevating their presence and doing events, and like I said, I remember seeing the pictures of that first Lunar New Year, and I think I saw a picture of you, and your face looked very overwhelmed, like whoa,
We just did not
but in a
expect
great
that support. It was incredible.
but in a great way. That down in downtown Lancaster, Yule Plaza, that literally there were hundreds and hundreds of people that were coming together to support the Asian American Pacific Islander community. One final thing, I'd love to hear a little bit more culturally, if each one of you would love to, I would love to share a story from maybe your childhood or a tradition, if you have, that you would like to share with the group before we kind of finalize. I'd love it.
One of my favorite holidays that generally across the board is Lunar New Year.
Lunar New Year.
So my favorite tradition is getting and receiving the red envelopes.
Oh.
So not just because there's money inside.
So you have, so quickly, the red envelopes. So there's a red envelope.
So traditionally, the older generation would hand down the younger generation or just friends with some money inside, wishing them prosperity and good luck for the new year. I would be a hoarder of that as a kid growing up, but it was an opportunity for us to, something as simple as that, to recognize the culture and tradition of what that means and what it symbolizes, because it is very metaphorically empowering for the holidays.
And is it something you continue to do now?
I do, for friends and family.
Wonderful.
I do it for my kids.
How about you, Cindy? What is sort of a tradition that you really like to?
I will also say Lunar New Year.
Yes.
It's a huge, it's like, I've said this before, it's like Christmas, Thanksgiving, American New Year, Easter.
Everything.
Like,
Everything.
mashed together into this
Oh, how
big
wonderful.
holiday. And it's like days of celebration. It's not just one day. So that was the one time as my family, everyone in my family, they're immigrants. So coming to America, they're always working. They're working
Yes,
hard. We
yes,
don't really
yes.
get to see them all the time.
Yes.
Lunar New Year is the one time where the whole family comes together and we cook a feast and we do that for a few days. My parents would do it with their friends and
Yes,
coworkers and it was just something that growing up we loved. Memories.
Memories,
Yeah.
tradition.
Beautiful memories, yeah.
Do you have a tradition, Vanessa, or something that, I mean, coming to this country as an infant,
Right.
but is there a tradition that maybe you've picked up as a member or anything you'd like to share about that?
So I love holidays in general.
Right,
Like that's
right,
my
right.
love holidays because it brings that sense of coming together, whether it's with family or if it's with friends, So traditionally, Christmas has always been one of my favorite because it does embrace all of that which I love. As far as Lunar New Year, it's definitely become one of my favorites as well because, like Cindy has mentioned, it really does kind of bring in all of my favorite holidays
Right.
into one, and it lasts longer than just one day. There's so many
Yeah.
different activities and things and people and food involved. So I'm really excited to be able to experience and being a part of more Lunar New Years and learning maybe some more traditions. But I would say food for sure has been the highlight.
Of course.
And I'm starting the tradition, doing that.
Food brings everyone together, I
Yeah.
think.
100%.
If you're
Absolutely,
you're
yeah.
meeting over food, it always brings
Yeah.
people
It's a
together.
universal language,
It's
Yes.
right?
I would say it's my love language. But anyway,
Yes,
that's a whole
it
other
is,
show.
yeah.
I concur.
Thank you all, Cindy,
Thank
Brian,
you.
Vanessa. Thank you for being here today. It was such a pleasure to learn more about the Lancaster Asian American Pacific Islander organization. Thank you for all that you do
Thank
to bring
you.
this
Thank
to
you so
our
much.
community. Connectors, tradition, heritage, culture, that is Lancaster. Thank you for being with us today on Take a Look.